got you both.
He got you as well.
Well,
Can't believe that worked.
well, this allows me to show off my Vegas wallet.
God.
A year of savings
Cash savings
for
here and
gambling
there.
opportunities.
Why are they already damp?
They're already ready to go.
No, I'm just kidding. They are crisp.
Screw you,
Look at
Kyle.
that money.
You absolutely nailed it. That
Yeah.
was so good.
I needed that. I needed a win off of that.
Oh my gosh.
You son of a bitch.
Hey.
This is the Off the Break Podcast, your podcast dedicated to current movie theater news, operations, and insights from the people that book the movies. Now, here are your hosts, Cody, Kyle, and Ken.
All right, and we're back with a new edition of Off the Break Podcast, heading into CinemaCon week.
The big one. It's coming up.
It is. It's a whole week for us. It's just crazy.
So many things used to be announced at CinemaCon and then were disseminated through the crowd.
Yeah.
And then this year I'm seeing like new trailers this week.
Yeah.
I'm seeing date changes this week.
I know. I'm
and
like, come on.
distributors announced for independent films this week. And it's like, what is the point, guys? This is the whole...
It's starting to feel like NFL free agency, where all of the deals get done before free agency actually starts.
I was going to say Super Bowl commercials.
Yep,
where they
Super
release
Bowl
them
commercials,
online
yeah.
the week of. And but it feels very much like this is the Emmys for the behind the scenes people. Like the people that run movie theaters. This is our big week.
Yes.
And it's like, don't take away the special stuff. Announce
I know,
everything this week.
That's what you pay to register for, is this exclusive
Well,
and
stuff.
pay a lot.
Yeah. It's very expensive to go.
I think there'll still be surprises. I'm holding out hope. I'm hoping this isn't the Super Bowl effect, where everything gets announced before the event and then you don't do anything at the event.
You're discussing it, going through it. Yeah, that's what I'm nervous about, that they're turning it into that model. We got to just keep it going. Like showmanship. This is what we do. Like get out there and...
Well, I think it comes from
corporate media,
yeah. But they don't want to give another business their exclusive. So they see it as like, well, we can announce it and then it's our thing and then we get the engagement on our channels. Whereas if CinemaCon announce it, then CinemaCon reaps all those rewards for our announcement.
News channel
Yeah.
or Deadline picks it up and it's not.
But they're all already there anyway.
Yeah.
At CinemaCon, they're going to have the same announcements just like the rest of us are.
Yeah.
So none of this makes sense.
But this is
I
probably
hate big
the
business. It makes no sense.
first year since Cody started going that we've actually had reasonable enough weather here
Yeah.
in Montana that it's not worth leaving.
Yeah, the sun's finally cracking out here.
Had like
It's nice.
3 days of really beautiful like spring weather.
It was warmer here than in Vegas.
Yeah. I know.
And now we're like dragging our feet, being like, oh, it's only going to be a little cooler.
Yeah.
Like the sun will still be out, but it's like, it's not the same.
It's not the same. Go outside there and you
I wanna be in bed.
smell dirty sand and cigarette smoke. Like it's not here where we have this pure, beautiful, fresh mountain air. But there's always a chance Cody might brush by Jason Momoa and it might change her life.
I can only hope.
That's going to be the weird part for me, is the celebrity appearances, because last time I went to CinemaCon, I didn't have that experience. So I was like,
you went the
You went
fall, the
COVID.
year after COVID. It was like the first one back.
I got you both.
He got you as well.
Well,
Can't believe that worked.
well, this allows me to show off my Vegas
oh my
wallet.
God.
A year of savings
Cash savings
for
here and
gambling
there.
opportunities.
Why are they already damp?
They're already ready to go.
No, I'm just kidding. They are crisp.
Screw you,
Look
Kyle.
at that money.
You absolutely nailed it. That
Yeah.
was so good.
I needed that. I needed a win off of
Oh
that.
my gosh.
You son of a bitch.
Hey.
He's clever. He got me good.
You know what? You're staying home, Kyle. You're not coming.
screw that. I paid for you. You're
You are definitely going. We have shelled out this money.
As everybody's been sick
Oh my gosh, everybody in
the office,
That's
passing
another
around
part.
cold.
Yeah.
Ken and I were so excited. We're like, we are going to take staff. Like, we felt like such big guys being like, we have staff and we're going to take them and we're all going to be a team. And then
reservations are for like 12 everywhere
Oh my gosh,
we go. It's
yeah.
crazy.
and so we budgeted and we got everybody registered. So they got registrations. We paid for their flights, done all the in their hotels, done all this stuff.
We sold our third child. It was hard, but
it was hard.
necessary.
Yeah.
I miss Timmy.
Ken Jr.
It was Ken Jr., Kyle. And
called him Timmy because it was too weird to call him Ken Jr.
Yeah.
when he came in his torn clothes.
And so we're super happy. And then sickness has just swept through the office. Like, everybody has gotten something. And
Everybody's had at least one day out of the office this week.
Yep.
we have somebody gone today. It's like, please just get healthy.
The
You
plane
have
is
to go to
coming
this.
tomorrow.
Yeah. It's too late to get our money back.
Well, I'm sure we're all going to rally and we're going to enjoy the moment.
Yes.
And
This will be a fun time.
yeah, and this is
That's
our.
what they made Dayquil for.
This-
Everybody
True.
will rally.
True. I'm packing some.
I'm buying the stuff in Vegas because I guarantee it's better. Same bottle,
More
better
expensive.
formula.
Better formula.
It says amphetamines in it.
Ooh.
My teeth are singing. Oh well, will be our second convention of this last month.
Yeah, we Ken and I have already attended the Giant Screen Film Expo,
Yeah,
which took place in Los Angeles. It is a convention for all of those theaters out there that are big IMAX theaters at museums or aquariums or any other educational institution.
As long as you got a big screen.
You got a big screen, you can go.
yeah, and it was interesting to look at another avenue for theatrical exhibition. It was incredibly different.
Oh
in
my gosh, yeah.
so many ways. There were very few ways that
Compared
it was the
to
same.
like Rocky Mountain.
Just
just
and
to
all those
regular
other-
theater. No, their whole model based on
Their
how
whole-
they operate.
Yeah, it was their whole model, like about, how long you book content, what type of content you go for, how they're part of this larger ecosystem, say like the museum ecosystem, and how, your show times have to reflect the hours of operation of this other thing you're attached to, and your budgeting and all of your stuff has to go to the greater good of the whole. And
mission statements and
Yeah.
like boards. We have plenty of theaters that we work with that are nonprofit situations, but generally they have one person that makes decisions on movies, and you may not like it. The board may be happy, but then the next week we have Snow White and everybody's fine. So it's that kind of situation, but it's on such a grand scale where it's not a theater that may make a little bit of money, but it's supposed to be a part of the community. These museums are multi-million-dollar machines
yes,
that rely on grants and donations and private funding and
just-
sponsorships.
I found that their relationship with the distributor was closer in some ways, because there's very few distributors of this kind of content that you play at these theaters.
There were two big ones.
Yeah, two big ones is
It
all.
was like having Disney and Universal,
Right.
and that was it. And
Okay.
then you booked a Disney or Universal movie for 6 months,
Yeah.
Yeah,
as opposed to 7 days.
which was crazy. It makes sense in this model,
Right.
but it was just eye opening to kind of see that. And then it
Because
also
you guys aren't used to that.
And then the technology, like the conversations around technology and adoption of technology, like I will say that these locations are very early adopters of the latest technology for theaters. I mean,
They've all had digital
Digital-
projection for 20 years.
yeah, way longer than most regular movie theaters. And now they're really looking at how you can take, what is the goggles, the
3D and the
3D and the-
virtual reality.
yeah, the VR headsets.
Oh, okay.
And incorporate them into the viewing experience and what you do with that, and just in how you immerse 3D more into this, because these films lend themselves more to an immersive 3D experience than your regular Hollywood films do.
There were
Interesting.
So many places that had dome cinemas, which
Yeah.
I kind of like on the periphery, like that kind of makes sense, but they're obviously in huge markets that we don't work in,
Yeah.
generally speaking. But it was like, come see the Story of the Eagle on dome cinema, where you basically lay down and watch it over the top of
The planetarium.
which seems crazy,
Right,
Kyle.
yeah.
That seems crazy.
But now they're doing so much more. It's not like just space or
it
dinosaurs.
seems so wild to me.
The museum I grew up with had one of those. I mean, it's probably a bit on the outdated side, but
way on the outdated
Well, like
side.
a
But
planetarium is one thing, and they all like everywhere had a planetarium, which was like a laser light show.
Gotcha,
But this
so this
was
is
like
different.
dome immersive, where the eagle like flies around you. It was a whole, and the
think it's a
sound
lot
and
more
everything
elaborate. Okay.
very
Gotcha.
very
Yes.
high end.
and we also found that that creators, producers, content creators had way more access to these theaters than they would, than kind of on our end of things. And it was interesting just to see their conversations about their content, catering their content, how they could use their content. It was, I think in some ways, if you had a nature documentary, it would be probably easier to approach these theaters than it would be,
because a lot of them are like the museums or informational anyway.
and
It's not for necessarily entertainment
Right.
Specific.
And I don't think that the big distributors that distribute this content have the hold over the auditorium the way Hollywood studios have a hold over your auditorium because of their ability to pull their content.
Okay.
Yeah, there's definitely not the same. It's very much an all, if it's good for me, it's good for you relationship.
Yes, which was nice to see.
Which was
And collaborative.
very interesting.
Not stepping on toes and
and
No
they don't
egos
have
Yeah.
release dates that have to be honored,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
clean screen policies, and if you want to open Eagles but Bears opens on week 2, you don't have an issue.
yeah, so that was really refreshing to see that. But
everyone seems happy. And
but on the other end of it, which was way different, was there is a like hierarchy of content, and they really will tell the distributor, this isn't like an A title and I will play this way more, and this is like a D title and it doesn't work for, like, we're an aerospace museum, so we don't care about dinosaurs, but this seems to be a decent dinosaur movie, so I'll play it like once a week just to throw it in there. Like
it so much shouldn't be like a rankings thing. It's just like a logic thing of like,
But
obviously the airplane museum doesn't need a
no,
dinosaur
but it is
documentary.
a ranking though,
And they tell
treat
them
it
to
like a
their
ranking.
faces.
they do. They will.
Can you imagine telling Disney that Snow White
Is a
or-
B level
It's
title.
or
B-level
Amateur or
title.
Thunderbolts is a B title?
Yeah.
Can you
You get
you want
ostracized
to,
for that.
you say it, you beat around the bush a little bit. You're like, I'm hearing a lot of, negative stuff about this.
You gotta use padding words.
I'm thinking about Disney
just to be like, it's a B title. Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Disney with like the Fox holdover titles that they had.
Oh, yeah.
That they didn't know how to promote. They didn't really even ask us for
Right.
dates because they were not excited about these because they have big movies. They do 4,000 print counts and release it everywhere, and it makes $100 million. And then we have something from Searchlight, and they're like, we have to like pry it out of their hands sometimes, or
yeah.
we had to.
We had to.
It's finally gotten where they're on board.
But
and know what they're
even
doing.
with the honesty, saying this, this looks like a decent movie, but it's just not there. It's not.
there's
Disney
no
Snow White
repercussions.
was never going to be a Moana Mufasa, and you guys knew it, we knew it,
Mm-hmm.
but nobody could admit to it. Like that part, I wish I could
But
have
it
changed.
used to be that
Could
like
do
with,
that more.
Yeah.
but like I'm thinking of like Barbarian and Murder on the Orient Express, or not, Death on the Nile.
Yeah.
Like those kind of like Fox movies that they were just like, meh.
The more adult
Antlers.
driven fare.
Remember that one?
Oh yeah.
Antlers. That was on the shelf for like 3 years.
Yeah.
They released a trailer a while
And
ago.
we were like, we didn't.
Yeah, sounds about right.
long time
A
ago.
long time ago.
That was close.
I didn't know what to do with it.
All right. But
So yeah, I don't think that I think we learned a lot. We definitely broadened our horizon on perspective about theatrical and like the different avenues you can take and what that means for that auditorium. But at the end of the day, no matter how different they were, they are still trying to get butts in seats, and they are still struggling, I think, a little bit with the changing times of trying to attract people to your venue.
Same goals.
Same issues across the board there.
Yeah. The same issues we saw with tiny towns that come to us asking us to book movies and they don't have the right equipment. There was a theater in Texas that had put in a multi-million-dollar screen, a LED screen that was like $400K.
Because that's the kind of the next thing are these amazing LED screens.
But they couldn't play movies on it. It didn't have the digital capability to play anything other than the content
because
that the people that built it made for it.
There's no projector. It's your TV screen.
There's no server.
There's no server. There's nothing
protection for the films.
Yeah, there's nothing to put the secure content into to unencrypt it to play it.
But crazy enough, that same place was playing like European soccer games on the screen,
right?
For like $120 a ticket, Kyle. And they were selling seats. It's so crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That screen looks fantastic.
I assume it's better than being there because the screen is so crisp.
Yeah.
And you don't have to deal with all the people and the traffic and the parking and everything.
Yeah.
It's like, this is great.
It's better than the stadiums that have those giant screens already high up.
They're distracting.
That's the only explanation.
They're distracting. If you're like a middle row seat, it's distracting. You find yourself just watching the screen.
Yeah, probably.
That's bright. Look at all the shiny things, and it's like, oh my gosh, he's gonna score a touchdown.
I paid so much money to be here, and yet I'm watching a TV screen.
TV anyway.
Yeah. Why they do that?
All right. Well, on to CinemaCon stuff.
Yeah.
CinemaCon itself had a major shakeup this week.
Yes. So CinemaCon is a regional convention put on by NATO, which was forever.
Who?
The National Association of Theater Owners.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But they've decided
the guys in the blue helmets.
They decided that in this complex world we're living in, that was too difficult and confusing with the NATO Strategic Government Alliance for Defense. So they have rebranded themselves
as Cinema United?
As Cinema United. Which,
I will be a slight defender here real quick before we go deeper into it. I do think the name change is warranted because every time I try to do Google searches around them, I can never find them. I go through like 3 pages before I find them. So I'm at least happy that finally the algorithm makes it to where I can find these guys a lot easier.
And that's probably really why they did it.
Yeah.
Name changes is warranted, yes. Cinema United sounds like a B-level superhero movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like that bad animation. We are Cinema United.
We are a team.
I have a hard time with a name that's a call to action. Like Cinemas Unite, like it just Cinema United. It doesn't have a thing to me. It just sounds like a hollow call to action. It doesn't sound like an organization or a thing or a noun or any of that.
But it's not like NATO was exactly that flashy of a name to begin with. No offense to that.
Right.
No, but National Association of Theater Owners is a thing.
Yeah, but like who's gonna remember? That's a bunch of words.
But we've found this out too. Like changing your name is a big deal.
Yeah.
Like with companies that we work with that have changed their name. With us, when we took over our business, we didn't change the name for a very specific reason because we didn't want to lose any of the cachet that we had.
Yeah.
And this could hurt things. I know that's why they did this so close to the convention.
Because they're gonna probably someone's probably gonna come out and
this
be
is
like,
going to
this
be
is new
everywhere.
And exciting. Yeah.
This is going to be everywhere. Every presentation, all the heads of distribution at the film companies are going to have to rewrite their speeches. I can't wait to hear back that people say, thank you for inviting us to
No,
NATO.
they say our partner is an exhibition, so that doesn't change
They're
anything.
going to say NATO, though. I guarantee it.
There'll be a slip.
There's going to be a slip because it's
gonna
silly.
be several.
It's been this since 1948. Like,
God.
Yeah.
That's
it's
why
not
it was,
like this was like...
Well, that's why it was NATO, because NATO didn't exist.
Yeah.
Hey, we were here first.
It was still Russia, UK, the US, and China dividing up Europe.
Yeah.
That's what it was. They hadn't even gotten to that point. Like, you know what? We should make a club out of this.
Yeah. So no other thoughts besides that, other than that it's happening and
it's happening. I do think that they created a cinema foundation, which is their charitable arm that they seek donations for, and I do think they probably want to align the names closer together, so that kind of makes sense on that part. But again, to me it's a call to action name. It's not a real name, and so I find I don't care for it, but
I do feel like that is going to be the motto heading into this CinemaCon, is Cinema United, and we're all in this together.
that's what it is every year. But,
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a lot
But now
more
it's
of
in the
that.
name.
But now it's in the name.
So much simpler.
It's gonna
they don't
tie
even
in.
have to say it anymore, even though they will.
But then they
We are Cinema United.
kowtow to the studios, and then there's no United.
Got a whole cheer and everything.
We just watched Dodgeball, and that was the
right. Good
Cobras.
movie. Good movie.
I know. I can't wait to talk about this week's movie. But
Yeah, we're getting there.
I'm excited about this new update that we have an actual distributor that's going to release this year's sneak peek showcase, which is anticipated trailers for the summer, fall, and winter season.
Okay.
And so it's actually something that regular theaters can book.
Yeah.
It's not something that's through Regal or AMC or Cinemark. You go and book it, and then any proceeds that people pay, and I think it's a $3 ticket,
Yeah.
go directly back to, I think it was the Will Rogers and the fires
Yeah.
in LA.
That would make sense.
So film companies are putting up their trailers. They're actually physically distributing this to everybody. This used to be like a chain thing where
Yeah.
Regal would have the cinema showcase and you could go in and watch the trailers.
Okay.
And I think this is kind of a fun, like very nostalgic thing where you could go in, or people are walking by and it's like, we're doing the cinema showcase today.
Yeah.
Come out and check out the trailers. It's 45 minutes. Similar to the museum thing.
Yeah.
But come in, check it out. If you want concessions, great. If not, no big deal.
I mean, please buy a soda.
But come in and like getting people through the threshold of the theater is the biggest thing.
yeah.
Getting them to actually walk in and go, okay, that's not as bad as I thought it was.
Yeah.
Like getting people in the door for any business is hard, but
Right.
in movie theaters, people know they're going to dedicate 2 hours or 3 hours to whatever it is. It's 45 minutes. There's no, you don't have to be quiet. Like
Right.
you don't have to be worried
is
you're going to miss
trailers.
you're going to miss a plot point. You walk in, you go, okay, that was great. I'm going to use the restroom. Oh my God, it's clean. It's not scary. Oh my God, the seats are comfortable. Like, I think this is really great to have in theaters and brings back that feeling of a little bit of nostalgia, especially for the towns that
and it
we work with.
creates anticipation for upcoming product, which is buzz and anticipation, which
Don't think we're getting anything like crazy exclusive that's not on YouTube,
Yeah.
but you get it with the sound. You don't get it on your phone. It's going to be cool. I think it's just kind of a fun thing to do.
That's what I'm curious about. I'm curious about how people feel about trailers. Because I don't know if between the internet and the complaints people have about trailers these days, makes me wonder if they would want to, as you said, go through the scary doors of a
Right.
movie theater to check that out. So I'm curious to see how much of a payoff that this will wind up having.
I don't think there's money in this, but I think trailers are less scary than dedicating your time to a 2-hour movie that you may or may not like.
and maybe
Sure.
you start with the trailers, you learn that the trailers weren't enough to attract anybody, and maybe you do behind the scenes small clips, 20 minutes of the movie. Like they've done that at CinemaCon for the exhibitors. Why wouldn't they do that as a showcase out there?
I would
mean,
think something, anything.
10 minutes of a movie
That's-
that
Right.
just no crucial scenes, maybe just a filler scene, just something to get you excited that you saw some exclusive content not on the internet anywhere
Seeing as how
through the theater.
seeing as how Cinema United and their largest partner AMC is realizing that they made a huge mistake with the theatrical windows. We've got to do something now to bring people back.
Right.
And they're saying across the board, our numbers are down. This is not good. And we're seeing revitalized numbers in all of the locations we work
We
with.
are.
They're not 2019 huge numbers.
You're never going to get that again.
But
I mean,
but they're great numbers. They're numbers
Right.
that you're able to operate a business with.
yes.
A successful
Absolutely.
business.
I do think that after the events of a certain time period, that you lost 20% roughly of your audience pre that time period, post that time period. But you also
That's absolutely $1. You're just walking
No.
around it.
no,
I was gonna let it slide.
yeah,
Okay.
but you have also not recovered fully on the slate. I don't feel like the film slate has fully recovered. And so until that happens, I don't think you're going to get people back in. But I do think windowing needs to be addressed again. Whatever that deal was that Regal and AMC did with Universal, where if it opened to 50, they had to keep it 30 days. And if it opened under, we talked about it on that podcast, was absurd.
We've talked about it so many times.
So many times.
So many times that, and I think it's just really coming to fruition now that is not the benchmark
Now,
anymore.
Adam
I just
Aaron,
remember
who
there
pushed.
was an article that kind of it was just talking about how there's more conversations about like changing the theatrical window again. I'll have to send you
You
guys that
open
article
Pandora's
later. Maybe
box.
that's
The
a
film
topic
companies
later.
are never going to go back.
They're never going to go back to more exclusive.
Probably not, but it was just interesting that these conversations are still continuing, even though if it's possibly a lost cause.
Well,
a
now
harsher way to
now
say
what's
that, but-
changed since those conversations initially were set is the type of technology. Now we, instead of settled into this direct to free streaming, you've got this PVOD, this premium video on demand window, where the film is available online digitally, but for like a $20 rental. And those higher rentals, the studios are not going to mess with those. And that's where we're seeing the films get chipped away, is because at $20, that is cheaper than a family of 4 going to the film. And I do think that's where we've got, or even a couple sometimes.
Yeah.
And so that amount needs to like either be changed, or the window to when it becomes that amount needs to be changed.
If and when a major film company comes out with a day and date release where it's going to be somewhere, AMC, Cinemark, Regal have to tell them, no,
Yep.
we are not going to play your film.
Yeah.
That would speak volumes.
They have
would
to.
happen.
They have to. And that's the Cinema United way.
Yeah.
At-
Rolling
Wait,
this together.
United way is a different thing. Cinema United, call to action.
Right.
So next on our docket was a movie that I was going to mention, but we're kind of running long on time. So,
No. Talk about it real quick.
well, it's a movie called The Luckiest Man in America from IFC Films, coming out on April 4th. Stars Paul Walter Hauser, and it's based on the true events of a lost episode of a game show. Ken, do you remember what the game show name was?
Press
it now?
your luck.
So this hit a special close
Whammy.
pace to Ken's heart, clearly.
This is a great game show. This is like the first video game show where you just push a button. You didn't have to have any knowledge. You didn't know how to spell. You didn't have to know what people were pulled at.
Yeah.
Press your luck.
You just press the button and you hope you're lucky.
Yeah, you hope you don't get a whammy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's about the true story of this guy who is down on his luck, and he's trying to win money for his daughter, his estranged daughter now. And he finds a way by studying the game that there's actual patterns to like how the game show works. So that way you can press the button and you could win money upon money on money. It's not like a game of luck necessarily.
Before AI randomizing, they had to put a code in for a pattern.
Yeah. And in this case, there was only like 5 patterns instead of like 10 or 15.
That's enough.
It's literally a running joke in the movie where like one of the higher ups is like, Ted, what do you mean you only put 5 options in?
That's great.
So it's kind of like the story of this episode that I guess is like lost to the public. They only aired it once and then never showed it again because the guy not rigged, but like
He beat the
played
game.
the system.
He
He
beat
beat the game essentially. And so it's just about him and what he's going through emotionally as like a father and just trying to do the best thing for his daughter. And he just finds a way to win money in doing so, while behind the scenes, like all the TV executives and all the people working behind the scenes are like going crazy because they're trying to figure out, how is this guy doing this? Okay, now that we know how he's doing this, should we lean into it or should we like try to antagonize him? Or and it's just a lot of hoop jumping to get to the end of this game show, which became like an hour long instead of like 25 minutes or whatever.
Because he pressed his luck.
He pressed his luck. So it's really creative. It's really funny. It also has some good dramatic moments. Paul Walter Hauser is great in the lead role. Very entertaining movie. I hope that people release this as wide as it could and give this some showings because it was very entertaining.
Well, April 4th is an easy week for it because there's nothing major coming out in theaters. There's nothing big that week that has a bunch of squares moving around on screen.
No, I don't think a talking movie with squares or a talking square movie.
Yeah, there's nothing like that coming in.
No. Oh, wait, it has Jack Black and Jason Momoa in it?
Yeah.
It has Minecraft in it.
Right. That
It has
is a big deal.
Minecraft in it.
That is a big deal. Well, try to fit it in, I guess. Good luck.
I did. I booked it some
Thank you.
places.
That
Couple,
theater's going to be happy.
2 or 3.
Like 12.
Let's get that number up, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Kyle wants to help this one out. He
like
doesn't
it.
usually get excited for these. Usually it's kind of like, it was okay, it was fine.
Sure,
Doesn't really have
yeah.
an audience. And Kyle's like, I'm in on this.
Yeah, it would be at the top of the list for me right now.
He wants our theaters to press their luck
Yeah.
with the luckiest man in America.
Feel lucky, folks.
Well, I was feeling lucky about this week's bucket pick, The Birdcage.
Yes.
With Robin Williams, Nathan Lane,
Hank Azaria.
Gene
Hank
Hackman.
Azaria.
And
Gene
Gene
Hackman.
Hackman. It has an amazing cast in it, that's for sure. And it was a film that neither Ken and I had seen, and we wanted to see it, and we for sure thought like this would be great.
Oh, no.
And
Well, we thought it would be really well acted, which it was.
which it
Yes.
was, did not disappoint at all.
And
there.
I thought it would be
Everyone kills.
very much of the times, which it wasn't.
Right.
It's
Not really. Yeah.
It wasn't really like a 90s movie,
No.
which
No.
was odd.
It was a Florida movie.
Yeah.
But it
It
wasn't.
was absolutely a South Beach movie.
Which honestly, I appreciated that. Like it
It had a good vibe and flavor to
I felt
it.
like I was sweating from the Florida heat
Yeah.
at 9 p.m. as I was watching the movie.
No, I would say for me, I don't do well with movies where the whole premise and the plot of the movie hinges on people lying, like just lies upon lies upon lies. And unless the lies are maybe for something good, but I couldn't handle it. I just didn't like it. It was yucky.
Yeah, because it's two men in a relationship. They have a son.
They're very happy. They're very proud to be in this relationship. And they know who they are, and they've built this beautiful life. They're successful club owners.
And to be fair, well, Gene Hackman is the conservative character that is uncomfortable with the two gay men. He's done the same thing. He's built himself a successful life with a wife and friends, and he's got his thing going.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you combine these worlds, and it's like combining those worlds in and of itself is an interesting story.
right.
Yeah, of
But,
course.
but then they put all the lies in there.
Right,
and
but then
Cody's
the
like,
son,
Yeah, I get you. I get you.
Weasley, pathetic son that everybody dotes on is like, I'm embarrassed by you. You can't have this. She won't marry me if her dad knows the truth.
Right, because he and his girlfriend are trying to get married, but they want the parents to meet each other, but of course, do the conservativeness versus the progressiveness.
Yeah.
There was obviously going to be a clash, so the two couples, or the one couple wants to lie about it, or the son convinces them to lie about the relationship.
Yes, and you can't lie about something like that. It will come out, and it does in the end. And,
Yeah.
but most of the movie isn't the lie. Most of the movie is this like trying to whitewash your life to fit somebody else's idea, and I just didn't care for that.
Sure, I think that's fair.
The movie starts off with the lie where Nathan Lane thinks Robin Williams is cheating on him.
Yeah,
But he
those lies are funny when they're not true.
but the whole thing is the actors are so great.
They're so good.
I feel like with a rewrite of just them meeting and removing the lies, or telling them that you're going to do this because Gene Hackman loves his daughter.
Right.
Like he's going to go through this because he loves his daughter and he wants her to be happy. And the son is who he is. Maybe he's successful and going to be a doctor or whatever. And he's like, this is the right way.
Right.
Like something.
Something.
Just to clean it up. To take out
But the dialogue, so good. There's so many good lines in that film. The acting is
It's witty. It's sharp.
Gene Hackman is, you remember how great he is. Like, he's so smooth when he delivers his lines. And
Cody was like, oh, Gene Hackman's in this. It's going to be sad. And she didn't think about it being sad the whole time because of how great he is.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
How much gravitas he brings to these.
He's not, and he's not even like a character that you hate. Like,
No.
Whatever stance you take.
You
like,
know what? You know that character.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know that
You've
person.
known that character. You've met that person. But yet there is something about him where it's like, you can tell like there's a facade or a barrier there, but even he doesn't want to admit it.
Right.
So
I like how his vice was chocolates, and he dug them out of the trash
Yeah.
can. He's like, bring the candy.
Yeah.
Like, it just,
When something goes wrong,
Yeah.
he just spirals.
he spirals
Sneaks
into
in.
Not cigarettes.
Sneaks
it's
into
just
his own
chocolate.
house.
Yeah.
through the window and a ladder. Like,
Like, that's good stuff. Like, that's funny.
And the wife is great.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forget what the actress's name is, but she is amazing as just like the yes man,
yeah.
conservative like Stepford wife.
I think it's Diane
Weist. Yes.
Yeah.
She's great. I mean, there's
Christine Baranski is
but this
small role, but she's terrific, of course.
When
So-
she comes in, yes.
this is one of these like taboo movies I remember growing up that people like didn't watch, but then it was always rented.
Right.
I was thinking about that because in the 90s, given its subject matter, like that, it was probably a risky movie at the time because it's
Extremely risky.
It is a lot more bold with its subject matter
I mean,
compared to
Robin Williams played a gay man. He was the
big
genie in
deal.
Aladdin.
Yeah.
Like
Like those wires can't cross.
yeah.
But I was looking at like its opening, and it did make 20 million for 2,000 locations by the looks of things, and that wound up being number 1 for that weekend. And then it went on to gross like, I thought it was 125 million or maybe even in the 200s. I'll try to find it again, but it went on its way pretty well to like making so 125 million. It still made pretty good money, I would think.
Right.
Like even for its size and for like the timing of things.
Yeah.
It was just really impressive to like learn that.
Yeah, it was one of those movies like Tootsie, like To Wong Fu, like everybody's parents I knew of growing up watched it, but nobody would like admit it to other
Right.
parents. Like you would see it in the
got
bag,
curious for Robin
the bag
Williams.
from Blockbuster, and it's like, well, check it out. It's weird. It's got Gene Hackman, so it should be fine.
Yeah. No, Robin Williams, it's a more subtle role, I guess, compared to like his usual big stuff.
has-
but
Because he's
Nathan
not flamboyant in it. Nathan Lane's
is the more flamboyant one.
And
Who
Nathan-
does a great job with it, obviously.
Nathan Lane had to have taken 2 Xanaxes every night when they were done filming because he was so great, but he was so frantic
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
time.
Even
a whole
Robin's
day-
like, Jesus,
A whole
man."
day, a whole day on set, and it's like you need to chill out. And he's like, I need medicated now because my brain is about ready to explode. Because I've only seen him in more subdued roles, like so. Seeing him like this was like it was amazing, but it was
Yeah.
just it was so much. I felt so bad for the guy like having to do that. Cody, you picking this week?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Since my pick is out, so. Silent Running, 1972.
I think that's our mystery contributor then.
Yeah. Yes. I have no idea what this is.
No.
So
Is that like Cool Runnings in the Dark? What is
Yeah.
it? Silent? Give me an update. I've got nothing on this one.
What was it called? Silent
Running
Running.
from 1972.
It's a sci-fi movie. 70s sci-fi movie.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, look at this thing. This is
Is there anybody in it? It doesn't even have a cast.
trying to see if there is anyone. Bruce Dern. We got Bruce Dern.
Bruce Dern, I'm in.
I think he's in the lead role.
I'm in.
This is someone trying to make Star Wars.
Before Star
It
Wars?
might have been before Star. Like, look at the designs on this.
1972 was
It
the
does
same
look like
time.
Star
it was
Wars.
the same time period as Star Wars.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, sci-fi was a big deal thanks to Star Wars, obviously, at that time. So,
That is.
but a lot of those designs, if you Google this movie, if you haven't seen it,
Definitely Google this.
it's definitely Star Wars adjacent.
That is
Whether
Bruce
before or
Dern.
after. This will be cool. This will be an interesting history
Bruce
type
Dern and a
thing.
bunch of old-timey other actors.
Oh, yeah.
Cliff Potts.
What a great name.
Ron Rifkin. These all sound like guys who
We
wrote.
got character actors. I
Guy-
guess in the 70s, they were just A-list actors.
I sat next to Cliff Potts last night at the the diner. You did?
I couldn't handle myself. I had to get air.
Oh my God. I've only seen Bruce Dern in new things, so I'm kind of excited to see him as a young man.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
Run around.
It'll be cool.
All right. Well, tune in next week for broadcasted from CinemaCon. We're going to try to get...
You're surprising me. Are we doing that?
No,
I don't know if we'll
we're
have
not.
time.
We're not doing that.
Have you
Ken.
seen that? I mean, Ken, have you seen the schedule you made for us?
Yeah, I don't
We
know
got
when we have
time.
time.
I think you guys can do it between 2 and 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I think there's plenty of time.
No.
Fine.
I'm going to bed.
We're taking a week off.
We're taking
Okay.
the week off for CinemaCon,
We
as
will-
y'all should.
Yes, we'll be back with
I
Silent
can guilt
Running
them
and
into it.
CinemaCon info.
Unless I can guilt them into it.
No.
Not happening.
I'm
Unless I can guilt Kyle and Alyssa and Shayla into it.
Ken,
No.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Off the Break Podcast. Find us on all podcast platforms and be sure to like and follow our Facebook and Instagram pages at Off the Break Podcast.